Good day, KSA. Welcome to the Fittest Show in KSA with me, Coach Dre, your one-stop health, fitness, and lifestyle show. Join me when we interview guests, and I'm so excited to have you. Check you soon. Let's go. Welcome, everybody. We had a bit of a delay, but we are ready to rock you. Welcome to the Fittest Show in KSA with me, Coach Dre, and behind the scenes with Abed helping me tonight as well. Thank you for helping me. Saud as well helping me tonight. Saud helping me as well. Thank you so much. Tonight we are following on with our series from the Jetta Tribe. It's all about us talking about how to get you moving and either doing it through swimming, running, or cycling. And if you are adventurous and brave, doing all three at the same time, not at the same time, but in a kind of sequence or a race. This is triathlon, and I'm hoping that if you've been listening since we had Jude on and all the amazing guests, we're kind of it just seems like the guests are just getting even better and better, and the stories are getting more interesting. So before we waste any more time, I would like my guests to introduce themselves to you. So ladies first.
My name's Nermeen Ali Reza. I'm mother of four, academy director at Noon Academy.
Amazing. And sir?
Mu'tasim Ali Reza. I'm the CEO of Maghrabi Hospitals and Centers, and I pride myself as being the oldest member of the Jeddah tribe.
You know what? Every tribe has that elder, right? But please do not let age fool you. I think we're going to be quite surprised when you tell us your story, right? So we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, we're going to delve into exactly your stories when it comes to the tribe. And I think it's going to be quite inspiring. And I really hope that if you are curious and maybe you want to join the conversation, give us a call. 012-6484-691, 012-6474-100. We'd love to hear from you. Maybe you are an athlete. Maybe you are a triber. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Let's take a quick musical break, and we'll catch you only on SRFM, the heart of KSA. Welcome back. I am again. It's been so nice to have such a variety of guests on over the last couple of weeks, because ultimately what we're trying to tell you on the show is that no matter what you do, no matter your age, where you're from, what you're doing, everyone has an athlete inside of them. I think everyone's alter ego is just waiting to be discovered when it comes to fitness, right? And a lot of us are told, oh, well, but you've never done it before, or you're not designed to be an athlete, or there's other things to focus on. No, you all have that elite athlete inside of you. You just got to find the right sport or the right opportunity to actually explore that and discover that. And we've seen and we've heard some amazing stories over the last couple of weeks. And I'm excited again to hear some more stories of how people got involved and found that alter ego. So let's kind of find out your fitness stories. Okay. I'm going to put you on the spot because I know this is something new for you. Tell me your fitness journey, how you got into fitness, and ultimately how that led you to join the tribe.
Okay. I think you gave me a perfect segue with this little introduction you did about everyone having it in them. And I think, obviously, I went to a school where I had the privilege of, taking part in sports, and I think that goes a long way when you get that muscle memory.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's really important also for students to have that opportunity, or children to have that opportunity. But it's exactly what you said. I really believe in the human potential. I think the reason I went into endurance sports is really the reason I started a school. I think as God's creatures, we have so much potential in us. And I don't think people really stop and think what it means to be God's creatures. You were created in the best of forms. What does that mean? It means that really, if you put your mind to anything, everyone has the potential within them to do no matter what they set their mind to. And I truly believe that. And I think participating in endurance sports is one way for me to live out that belief. And it really is. It's just about putting in the hard work and believing that, if you set a goal for yourself and you're willing to put in the hard work, there's nothing really that you can't attain.
So what is some of what's the journey? What was the first sport that you tried, and what did that transition lead you to eventually joining
the first endurance sport I did was I decided to take a sabbatical off work in 2008, and I wanted to do something, set a goal for myself, a personal goal, but also something meaningful. So I decided I'd participate in a marathon. Now, going back to your thing that don't think anyone can do it, I had literally never run before in my life. The most I had run is, the 5 minutes you do to warm up for a workout. That was and I used to look at runners and think, what are they doing to their bodies? That can't be. And I started 3 months before the marathon to train for it. And, I was able to do it. And I kind of joined that with raising money actually for an organization that's just around the corner from you. Wow. It was the first charitable organization in Jeddah. They do amazing work with orphans and with just underprivileged children, and they were building sports facilities. So going back to do something you're passionate about, but also link it with something meaningful. And I think that keeps you motivated.
What was the moment of that marathon made you realize this is something I want to continue doing? What was the moment or the tipping point for you, like, you know what, I actually want to be an endurance athlete?
It didn't happen, to be honest.
Oh, really?
It was that goal, and it was a goal I set for myself, and I wanted to show that, I could do it. And I actually didn't do another endurance race for a while.
Okay.
And it wasn't until I think it was 2014 when I heard that there's the first triathlon that was being done, the first 70.3 Ironman that was being done in Bahrain, and that's where I'm from. So I decided, this is the next thing. So.
That's awesome. We'll get back to you eventually to hear a bit more. But for you, sir, so tell us about your story when it comes to fitness.
Well, I'm totally different than my wife in the sense that my wife does everything for a greater good. I did it purely, as you said, your ego. It was a purely ego issue. When my wife started doing her marathon, she went out once in the streets. I took the bicycle and started biking next to her while she was running. There was a race in the morning, like 6 o'clock in the morning, and she asked me, do you think I can go and do it? And I told her, let's go ahead, do it. Nobody will be awake at 6 o'clock in the morning. It was a Friday morning, and the whole town was awake. I didn't realize that nobody sleeps in the weekend and they stay up until the morning. But nobody bothered her. And when we traveled, we used to go on bike trips and stuff like that. And I started feeling sorry for myself to see how unfit and out of shape I was, because I always thought of myself as an athlete. As we were talking before the show, I played rugby, I played squash, and I made all the teams in high school. But over time, I got many injuries and stuff like that, and I ended up just walking and going to the gym and going to work. And I didn't realize how deteriorated I've become, basically, until I started cycling with my wife and with friends. And then a friend of mine, Yasser Bin Laden, who's an excellent cyclist and later became a triathlete, he used to go every weekend to east of Jeddah in the mountains. So he pulled me with him, and I started going. I remember I used to cycle almost 20 kilometers, and I would sleep for 2 days after that. And so really I started from zero, basically. And I used to watch my wife and my son for 6 years doing the Ironman every year. And going back again to my ego, I couldn't take just being a spectator. And so I started cycling more and more. And it's amazing, like you said, how far you can go.
It's amazing.
It just takes discipline, and in triath in whether it's running, swimming, or cycling, basically, it's really mental. And like you said, anybody can do it. I've seen a lot of people in our group, and people over time that are not necessarily athletic, they've beat people who are athletic because this sport is about the mind, it's about nutrition, it's about discipline, and anybody can do it, and everybody can do a lot better, achieve a lot more than they can. I mean, I'm happy with the progress I'm making, and I'm not the best in the world, but I would have never imagined to be where I am right now. But I do have to admit, like I heard you saying in the show once, that you hate long distance running. I was never a long distance runner, so I call myself a triathlete that doesn't swim or run. So I basically, I joined the races in a relay, but I'm happy to participate and be part of the team. And how we got into Jeddah Tribe, basically, as we were getting into this, Jeddah Tribe were doing races next to where we go to the beach, basically.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And so we decided to participate, and when we participated, we met this two great ladies, Jude and Arwa, who were doing a fantastic job and really encouraging everybody. And so we became friends, and we started joining the races, and then we've put up a group where we all train together with Jeddah Tribe 3 times a week, and that's how it started, basically.
I think it's amazing. I really think I am a big believer, right, is that a lot of us kind of get told, well, don't worry about your body too much. Just focus on getting a career, get qualified, earn some money. You know, all these things are important, right? But the one thing that goes with us this entire time is the body, right? And we need to look after the body. It's very, very important. It's the tool in which we're going to live and experience our life. And for a lot of people right now, and I think the reason why it's so important to hear stories like yours is a lot of people find excuses. I'm too old, I'm too unfit, or I'm too young, or I've got too many commitments. Nonsense. Yeah. I mean, you will find time to 100% get there.
100%. My wife, she would not say that. I know she leaves the house every day at about 6:30 in the morning, and she doesn't come back before 6 in the evening. I mean, I don't go to the office that early, but I go at 9 and come back at 6, and we wake up early in the morning and exercise. It was something I never thought I would do. I hated waking up in the morning, but now I love it. I look forward to it, and I really feel like we're part of an elite special group that wake up and do this in the morning. It just gives me a big kick, basically.
I love it. We're going to take a quick break. If you're keen to maybe ask our guests a question, 012-6484-691, 012-6474-100. We'd love to hear from you. Maybe you want to get started. Maybe you want to ask a question of how they got started and how you can add that to your daily routine. Maybe you're a very busy person like they are and wondering, how do I juggle all these responsibilities? We'll kind of delve a little bit more and ask your secrets maybe, and get some secrets, advice that maybe you can use out there to help you join this elite group of people. We'll catch you after this break only on SRFM, the heart of KSA. Welcome back, and it's always so wonderful when I speak to people who have a similar kind of like-minded approach when it comes to the importance of health, but also other factors of life, right? We're not just living in isolation. We're not just business people or moms or dads. We are so many different things, right? And our lives take on so many different forms, but being able to have a balanced life beyond that is so important. So what are you doing to kind of keep yourself healthy? If you're not doing something to really look after yourself, you're not living to your full potential. And I think that idea of potential is a great way of describing the two of you. You're taking what God has given you and you're living every single part of your lives to the fullest. Where a lot of people will say, well, I can't do that. Very busy business people, right? But also living full lives, healthy lives as well, which I think is so important. We have a caller on the line. Let's take the caller and see. Hi, who's calling and where are you calling from?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, I'm calling from Jeddah.
And your name is?
Lama.
Lama, how are you doing?
I'm great, and it's so inspirational to hear, mashallah, the journey that that you guys are going through. And I just wanted to ask, you guys were talking before about pushing your body, even if, for example, you had injuries, and then you try to overcome that and take the leap forward. So my question is, how can you tell? And if, for example, you have a disc injury and you feel like you want to move forward and push the boundaries of exercise or push the boundaries, what are the maintenance, you can say, efforts that you do to make sure that your physical well-being is maintained throughout this strenuous kind of, type of pushing the tempo?
Good question. If I may answer that, because
you're the right person.
I'm the person with all the injuries. I have a torn ligament in my shoulder, I have a torn ligament in my knee. I did major surgery in my neck, actually, that kind of semi-paralyzed my left arm, and I couldn't. And I had the disc. And like I was saying before, I went to basically zero level, where I did not even think I could do what I'm doing now. Basically, the first thing is you gotta take that decision. You have to have the will. That's the number one. Number two, you have to be disciplined. Have a program, but obviously you don't want to over push yourself. Things take time. What I do, I do core strength training twice a week. I'm not saying about huge, not doing weights or whatever. You start from zero, little by little. You build up your core, you build up your joints and stuff like that, and then get into the sport. I personally like to cycle, because cycling actually, other than swimming, I think is knee friendly. And it's quite friendly to the body, basically. And with the right fitting in your bicycle, it should be fine. And that's how I started. I don't know what kind of a sport you want to do, but yes, you can. It's basically core strength, and that's like physiotherapy, basically, along with doing the exercise that you want. And you start slowly, and with time you'll be surprised how far you can go. I don't know if that helps, but that was my experience.
The body has amazing ability to compensate and to make up for injuries, and other parts of the body also kicking in. But it is important to Lama, to make sure you're following a program. You get some expert advice. If you are pain is a signal, don't ignore it. Go to the experts. But it is a lot of it about building up that core strength. That will take you a long way. Core strength, mobility, exercises, all of these really support then any sport you decide to participate in. Yeah. And I've seen some of we've seen paraplegics, we've seen all sorts of people with very limited abilities do Ironmans and do amazing things. So don't let an injury kind of be an obstacle or a barrier to you pursuing any type of sports or athletic goal that you have for yourself.
I want to share some other piece of information that I just remembered I went through, and it might be useful to the viewers or the listeners. I used to have back pain every single night. I could not sleep, literally every single night, because my back was weak, my stomach was a bit big. And once I met somebody, and he told me, let me put you in on this diet, and he said it's an anti-inflammatory diet, and you will lose weight, and I said fine. And then he said it will cost you so much, and then I said forget it. Basically, I'm not gonna pay so much just to do a diet. And then I looked at myself in the mirror the next day, and I told him, call my wife and force her to do it. And literally that diet was a life changer for me. It reduced my weight, it reduced my inflammation, my pain that I've had for years has disappeared, and it helped me even do better. Now I do intermittent fasting, basically. I have lunch and dinner. I control my sweets. I eat everything, but I control what I eat, basically.
Hopefully that helped you with your question. Do you have any other questions for the guests?
Yes, amazing. Thank you so much.
If I can just put my 2 cents in there as well. The first thing is to assess how bad your injury is. So are you seeing a doctor or a physical therapist?
Yes.
Okay, the best thing is in conjunction with your medical support, first see how much you can do, and then start to incorporate that, and always make sure that there's communication between you, your doctor, and whatever program you're joining. Now, I'm looking here at the live, and we're being told you should join the company that you started. I think give a shout out as well.
Well, it's not me, but my son actually got into, with his passion, he started BR, and they provide a lot of performance training. I train with them.
Brilliant.
My husband trained with them.
So we recommend you go and check out BR Performance Studios on Instagram, and maybe they can give you some help as well. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling. We wish you all the best with your injury, but we know you're going to turn that into a strength.
Absolutely, Lama.
Good luck.
Have a nice evening. I think that is incredible advice, right? And the best advice sometimes is coming from people who have gone through that injury, right? It sounds silly, but having support groups or people you can rely on who've gone through something that you might be facing is easier than speaking to someone who's never experienced it, right? It's like going to a trainer and saying, I've got this back issue. He or she's probably never had a back injury before. Now, trying to explain to them the pain and the limitations and the mental blockage that can sometimes cause is difficult to relate. That's why it's nice to hear. And thank you. I think it's amazing advice. Maybe we'll have your son on to come and speak about this, because I think it's good to have reliable places.
I think he's next with the next group.
Amazing.
I think.
This is the biggest thing, is health is a communal experience, right? Looking after yourself and having fitness should be a communal thing. We shouldn't be doing it alone. A lot of people think I must be in the gym alone, my earphones on, focused, leave me alone. No, it's a communal thing. In terms of that, as a kind of segue, how has Jetta Tribe influenced you individually and as a couple to be more fit and healthy and aware of your health? I don't know who likes to take it first.
I'll go first, and then I know Mo will have a lot more to say as usual. So, I think because I started a while back, I really appreciate what they're doing, because the opportunities that they provide, when I think of when I first started training, how difficult it was, because you are, like you said, you're on your own. You're doing this alone, and you're, also before the reforms, you're doing a lot of it indoors.
Yeah.
And there was no opportunity to partake in events, and this is critical to keep you motivated also. You're not just training and then never participating, never that sense of camaraderie, of being part of something larger than yourself. It doesn't really happen except the day of the event if you don't have people like Jetta Tribe providing those opportunities, organizing those races. So I think I really appreciate what they're doing, because I knew how it was without them. Being passionate about sports, but not having someone like Jetta Tribe provide those opportunities.
That's very interesting. It's helpful, because a lot of us, I always say, if you look at anything, it's always nice to speak to the expert, right? Someone who's done it for a long time, where you can avoid making the mistakes that they made in the beginning of their journey, right? It's like getting into the gym or trying your first race. You're trying to just run as fast as you can, or swim as hard as you can, or cycle as quick as you can. But there are little nuances that you learn, little skills and tips that you learn from people who've experienced. For yourself, how did it change your mindset coming or thinking about fitness, joining, for example, the tribe?
Unlike my wife has more discipline. She can do things on her own and organize. I cannot do anything unless I'm with a group, basically. Really. If I'm not part of the Jetta Tribe, I'm sure I would slow down and I would not. So I enjoy training with everybody, their friends, everybody. We share experiences, and it's just motivating. Like I said, it's mind, body, and soul, basically. It's social. It is healthy, and it's just a great experience, and it's an important part of my life, and it helped me basically get fitter and fitter.
I like the fact that it seems to me fitness is becoming this community of practice principle, right? It's no longer you, me, myself, and I kind of attitude anymore. It's now about find people who you connect with. You will find new friends, you'll find an extended family, you will find people who you share similar interests with, but the benefit of this is that everything that they encourage is healthy.
Yes.
We're always worried about our friendship group. Are they encouraging me to be the best version of myself? Are they telling me to pick up the cheeseburger? Are they telling me to go for a run? Are they making me deviate from my principles? Or are they encouraging and strengthening my principles? Yes. And I think for a lot of us, and this is even an extension to the caller, is are you surrounding yourself with people who are empowering you both physically, mentally, and spiritually?
Yes.
Absolutely.
A lot of us are disconnecting these three parts when it comes to the way we live our lives. We've got this disconnection from the mind, the body, and the soul, and we need to connect and reconnect those urgently.
Absolutely.
Because you need to be holistic in how you look into things. Wellness is more important than fitness, because fitness can be done, but you can be a very unhappy person.
Yes.
But wellness is looking as everything in my life
Holistically,
balanced.
And and Jeddah tribe is very much that. And
This is amazing.
Yeah, and the beauty about it, we're different ages, different backgrounds, and we have young people, older people, and it's but we're very much in tune with each other because we have one thing in common, which is the exercises and
sports does that. It brings people together.
It does, and these bonds last forever. Exactly. When I look at my high school friends, I'm still in touch with the sports people I was with.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's true. It does create a great bond.
And it does seem, before we could take a quick break, it does seem it is something missing from the Saudi landscape, because everyone has this obsession with football, right? But we can't all connect over football. We need to have variety, and it seems the more variety we have when it comes to sport, the more connections we can create with different people. And we can also see this interrelatedness between different sports. Football players will benefit from doing triathlon.
Yes.
There's a benefit there for them, the mental, the physical, all these things, right? We're going to take a quick break. If you are keen to maybe ask the guests, we had a great call. We'd love to have another call like that. 012-6484-691, 012-647-4100. We'll take a quick musical break and we'll be back only on SRFM, the heart of KSA. Welcome back. And again, it's incredible how inspiring fitness is when we hear from everyday people who have discovered that inner superhero or athlete inside of themselves. And we have to redefine what is an athlete. A lot of us see it as something as unattainable. It's the tip of the spear. It's these elite individuals who have dedicated their lives to fitness. No, we've seen over the years that once you put your mind to it, you can become an elite athlete in your own life. It could be just being able to be the first time you've run a 5K, the first time you've been able to do a pull-up, the first time you've been able to get out of bed without aches and pains. We have to take it out of the sporting realm and put it into the everyday realm. You are capable of amazing things.
Yes.
And there's nothing stopping you, only you. Realistically.
100%.
You don't need a gym, there's a street outside. You don't need a fancy equipment. You've got stuff at home. You can make it work. We've seen through quarantine, we've seen through all these things, people being very, clever with what they've done to keep themselves fit. You can do it. And again, whether you have little to a lot of responsibilities, it's up to you to find the time. My biggest thing is both of you are incredibly busy, but doing things to change people's lives. Both of you have very, very complicated individual businesses and work commitments, but you're seeing things change, right? You're involved in an incredible group of people who are pushing health and fitness in a very unique direction. I'm curious from both of you, how have you seen fitness change here in Saudi? And what do you see, or where do you see it going in the future? And what hopes do you have for organizations like Jeddah Tribe and so forth? What is their role in moving fitness in that direction? I don't know who'd like to go first again.
I'd like to tell a story.
Please.
Maybe we can start this conversation. When Nermeen was training for her first Ironman, and we went out once in the morning cycling north of Jeddah in Ubhur, and we were stopped by a cop. Actually, the cop, when he stopped, I said, I really don't have a problem with it, but people have informed about you going there. And so we couldn't, ladies could not go out and exercise in the street.
Wow.
My son actually was cycling, and he was wearing the tight cycling shorts, and a car came and basically didn't hit him, but he ended up falling because they were bothering him. Now, ladies, all of us are basically cycling everywhere. It's not bothering us. Nobody's bothering us. In fact, we get a lot of people giving us thumbs up. So that just shows you the mindset that happened in the country.
Wow.
And it's amazing the amount of bikers and runners you see now in the street. I don't know if you ever go early in the morning. There's hundreds of people, and it just keeps growing all the time.
It's amazing.
And obviously with with the organizations now that the government have done, and I know Jude and Arwa are on that board of the triathletes. I mean, really the government definitely has a strategy now, and they've put the right people in the right place. I know people in the Squash Federation. I know my relative who's in Rowing Federation, and they're going about it now, trying to recruit young people and trying to basically find talent in the right way. So I'm very optimistic. I don't know about the schools. Maybe they're getting a bit slow from the schooling point of view, but I'm sure that will catch up. But definitely we're on the right track.
I think, there's definitely, we're seeing that there's a vision of, encouraging and getting more children into sports. But, probably back in South Africa, or like we see in a lot of countries, there's, this has to be a national drive, and on so many levels.
Yep.
On the civil society level, at the community level, at the school level, there has to be this whole sporting infrastructure and, a setup that encourages, that allows for pathways of children into, the ones who want to maybe go take on a more professional track. And it does start in the schools and in community centers. So I think that's an area that needs to be invested in. I think there's a lot of investments happening at the top end of trying to get athletes, into the Olympics, and that's great because it creates these role models, these, things for younger students to aspire to. But we need to also work at the, the lower levels. That's going to build up that capacity for a young age.
You don't want to miss out a generation when you're focusing on people already in these sports, right? And the thing is that you have the infrastructure already there. You've got fantastic schools, whether they're public or privately owned, that are already existing, that are infrastructurally able to manage the load. It's being able to change maybe some of the more older rules and regulations which limit that access to create these opportunities. And the thing is, you don't need to go look anymore outside of Saudi to find great coaches. You don't have to go out of Saudi to find great athletes. People are here trained. They've done it on their own accord. People have traveled and gotten the qualifications. They've come back and wanted to give that experience to their fellow countrymen and women. I mean, there are amazing individual boutique gyms that have opened that are by Saudis for Saudis. Yes. No longer are you having to bring in all this international talent. There's still a place for that. But now that can be balanced with local support. So then there's great opportunity to develop business programs that give young Saudis the opportunity to open businesses in kind of essential industries. And I do think, and this is me being biased because I love fitness is an essential industry. Preventative medicine, which is what I label fitness a little bit as to kind of make it sound fancy.
Very much so.
It's the 80-20. We should be focusing on how to get people not to get into hospital, though it's still a very important part. But preventative care is so important. And I think it starts in schools. It starts at that foundational level. It starts in families and households.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think the two of you, mashallah, are a fantastic example of people who are in these individual industries, but understand the importance of looking at yourself and how you look after yourself and how you look after your family. If there's one bit of advice that you can give to families out there who think they're too busy, overloaded with other responsibilities, how do you find the time and the commitment and the energy to do it? And what can they do to kind of add small changes to themselves and their families to be a fitter family?
I think you have to believe that it is absolutely possible. I mean, once you put a mental barrier, it starts up in the mind. So once you place a mental barrier in there, like I don't have enough time, or I just think that this is a no excuse, once you've decided to go for it, there's no excuses. I mean, there's been times where, like Mu'tasim says, okay, you have to wake up an hour earlier, or you have to, just do it after work. There's always a time, there's always a way, there's always a way. And I think that's something we try to teach the kids. Everyone can take a different path. You have a goal, there's always a way to reach your goal. And I think it's so important what you said. As parents, we're the ultimate role models for our children.
True.
I mean, it can be, I don't think it's by, sheer chance that 4 of our kids have, all 4 of them have participated. We don't have particularly athletic genes or anything, but when they see it, when they live it, it's like a family that reads a lot. Inevitably their kids are probably going to be strong readers.
Yeah.
And sports is just, and it's not about sports. It's like you said, it's about well-being. It's about an active lifestyle. But I think it's more than just the role modeling in terms of participating in sports. I think when it comes to sports, there's also a mindset, giving that children the right mindset and the right discipline. I remember growing up, raising my children, I'd often see kids commit to something and then they don't want to do it anymore and they stop. There's a huge lesson to be learned in that. When, I look at parents, don't allow your kids to do that, because you're breaking that discipline, and they're committing, and perseverance is such an important life skill, especially no matter what you do. And so I think it's the right mindset, getting children to believe in themselves, to believe that through hard work they can do everything, not making them entitled like things should come easy. No,
True.
You have to work hard for things. With hard work you can get anything. And to have the discipline to you set a goal, you stick to it until you reach it.
Amazing. And for yourself?
I can't add more to that. I mean, just to summarize it, in raising the kids, what you do is more important than what you say. True. Basically, and that resonates not just to your kids, to your friends, to whoever is around you, basically. Yeah.
For me, I always like to think about it. We all want our kids to be literate, right? When it comes to reading and writing and all the skills that come from the brain. But we sometimes avoid the physical literacy that we sometimes neglect when they're spending so much time behind the books. Being able to be aware of, your body is a gift. It's going to be with you from the day you're born to the day you leave this planet, right? If you're not looking after that, it's like you wouldn't buy yourself a beautiful car and let it go and rust outside. You would look after it. It's small little things make big changes. And it's just, we sometimes forget the importance of that because we sometimes hierarchy certain skills above others. But this is the one thing that will always, it's a gift that keeps on giving. And clearly, you've seen that, you represent that, you live that, your family is a testament to that. And I want to say thank you so much for coming in. An hour is never a justice for guests like you and the stories that you have to tell. But I hope that this has given you the bravery to overcome the public speaking, and hopefully we'll see you on tons of different podcasts and radio stations, and even maybe your own. I think that would be very inspirational.
She'll be very good. She'll be very good.
I think excellent. Yeah. And for you, so I think it is a testament to your character. I mean, I've heard amazing stories about how you've just you're the lifeblood and the energy of the group.
I want to add something about him.
Please.
And to families, is giving children the support. And without his support, really, I wouldn't have done half the things, whether it's, participating in these things or starting a school. So supporting your children and your wife or your husband, that goes a really long way.
I have a good wife that's worth supporting.
It
gets me into trouble sometimes, but
I think that this is exactly why it's so important to have these opportunities, and this is why SRFM is trying to bring you, the audience, a variety of shows that give you an opportunity to hear from everyday people here in the kingdom making absolutely incredible changes to the world that you might wake up to tomorrow. What have we seen in 5 years? An F1. Who knows what we're going to see in the next 3 to 4 to 5 years in the future? And you listening right now in your car, wherever you are driving in Saudi, you could have an idea, a concept, a vision to add to what's happening right now that could ultimately change the landscape of this country. So please, don't let anyone tell you you can't do it. Decide today, I'm going to create that vision for myself. I'm going to let nothing stop me. I'm going to find a way to make it happen. The government is there for you. There are people there wanting to help you. Just don't be afraid to ask for some support. Give us a call. Maybe we can help you find that exposure. Maybe we can have you on the show and talk about your vision. Please do not let anything stop you. We've got 2 incredible guests who are a testament to that. If you're keen to find out more about Jeddah Tribe, go on Instagram, Jeddah Tribe, TRIBE. Go and follow, go and like, and become a triber. From my side and everyone behind the scenes here at SRFM, thank you for spending your hour with me. I really hope you had a great time. Hope you learned something. Hope you were inspired. And I'll catch you next time only on SRFM, the heart of KSA.